So, I just got my new phone a couple weeks back, and I'm not going to use this weapon actually. And I highly recommend it, if I have to be completely honest. I'm just going to show some gameplay. Shit. So, the phone I just got is the Red Magic 6R. And I gotta say, it's excellent. It really is. And it's definitely worth the price. The main reason I got it is because it has a Snapdragon 888, and all the Snapdragon 888 phones cost a pretty penny, and they're always at least $800 to $2,000. If you want a phone with a Snapdragon 888, it's always going to cost a lot of money. This one though, oh, I'm fucking dead. But the Red Magic 6R was on sale for $429.99. I did have a coupon, so it was originally $450, and I had a coupon to bring it down to $430 basically. And for a phone with a fucking Snapdragon 888 for that cheap, that's just insane, honestly. So, I'm going to name off some of the specs. So, it's 6.67 inch screen, AMOLED display. Its touch sampling is 360 Hz, so that means your touches are going to be really fucking smooth. The Snapdragon is 888, Qualcomm Snapdragon 888, with dual mode 5G, and I always use my 5G Wi-Fi, so that helps it, gives it a little boost. So it has 400 Hz touch sampling, built-in triggers. So, I mean, you don't even really have to touch them. You can just hover over them and it'll touch them. But I have to say the triggers, I'll talk about those at the end, because I got a lot to say about the triggers. So, it doesn't have any cooling, which I don't think really matters, to be honest. Cooling's kind of like irrelevant. If you really need that, you could just buy a their external cooling fan. But I honestly, I don't think it's a big deal. You can have the phone on you know, max hertz, max brightness, and I mean the cooling's pretty much, oh my god, my aim sucks, but the cooling's pretty much flawless from what I've seen. It never really gets too hot. It gets warm to the touch, but it doesn't get like fucking scalding hot. And one of the reasons that is because of how thin the device is, so they made it where it doesn't really have anything blocking its airways. So far it's been great. It's only 1080p, which is expected. You can't really expect something for this cheap to have a 4K screen. It's just not realistic. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is insane. You can get a 12 gigabytes of RAM version, but if you want to get the cheapest version possible, I wouldn't recommend getting the 12 gigabytes of RAM, because RAM is kind of irrelevant. Unless you're going to be streaming on your phone, or like doing a whole bunch of multitasking, RAM is kind of irrelevant. So I wouldn't recommend going for the higher priced version, unless you have the money. Because at that point, don't even get a 6R, just get a regular 6. But, anyways. Oh, shit. It's got FHD Plus, which I don't really know what that is. I'm fucking dead. It's only got 2 colors, Cosmos and Mercury. Cosmos is like a black or a darker color. Mercury is like a light. I don't know which one I have. Let me see. I have Cosmos, I think. Yeah, I have Cosmos. Which is the one with the lower amount of RAM. I highly recommend it, honestly. So, I guess for the last thing, let's talk about the triggers. Built-in touch sampling triggers. So the triggers are on the top, the top right of the phone. Oh shit. And it only comes with 2. So you can only do 4-finger claw. You can't really do 6-finger. But the triggers have a lot you can do with them. So there's a lot of settings that can alter the ways their touches work and what parts of the screen they touch. So basically, I'll show my layout on like a practice bot match. So basically, you only have 2 triggers. So most people will have 4 fingers on their screen, and then 2 of their fingers on the triggers to use 6-finger claw. But I found that you don't really have to do that because of how it allows you to map the triggers. So as you can see, I'm slide jumping, but I'm only using 2 fingers on the screen and 2 fingers on the triggers. So how am I slide jumping? Then I'm able to shoot without having to touch my screen. Everything else, iron sight, I have it to where I can move my, rotate my camera while iron sighting, so that I can just iron sight and aim at the same time. And, well, this is how. So, the shoulder triggers have this built-in thing where you can have it where it will press a button when you press down on the trigger, and then it'll press another button when you lift your finger off the trigger. And it has a tap, basically. So for mine, I have it where once I press down, it will crouch. It'll press the crouch button, and then once I lift up, it'll jump. So I can slide jump when I'm sprinting. And that's why when I'm just iron sighting and shooting, you see me going like this. And I'm jumping and crouching so I can, so I don't get hit as easily. So they got a harder time hitting me. So I can just slide in and then start crouch jumping and shooting. And whenever I'm out, I just start slide jumping. If I just wanted to slide, not jump, then, well, that's a lot trickier. I'll just do that. But you still jump at the end. But you can still slide, and then, and then release it when you want to just stop being in that walking. If you want to just jump or you want to jump over obstacles. That's why I have my jump button right above my iron sight, so I just have easy access to it, and I can just tap it and then go right back to aiming. But if I want to jump shot people, I just go, without having to do the crouching. If you want to mantle over things, because you can't tap the thing, it won't do it. So that's why I have it for easy access. I can just mantle over things. I thought it would be a big, downside having just one pair of triggers. But after using them for so long, actually, as soon as I got the phone and started using them, I was already sold on it pretty much. I was already like, okay, this is perfect. Because of how you can just tap it and then release to jump. How it lets you press multiple buttons with one trigger, which I think is just insane. At that point, it's just a matter of relying on muscle memory to where to put your fingers when you want to iron sight, and when you want to vault over things, which is very rarely. I'm trying to find something to vault over, like this. You just jump. You can't vault over that. You can't vault over that either. But you get my point. Like this window, I just do it, and then I go straight to shooting. And then and if I want to ever iron sight, you'd have to remove the thing where it has static iron sight, where you can't aim with it, because most people use that. So when they're iron sighting, it doesn't mess up their aim. But since you're gonna be iron sighting most of the time and aiming almost always with your iron sight, you only have to have it with the shoot button, and not with your iron sight button. So that was the biggest thing. The bumpers would have probably, for most people, been for just iron sight and shoot, and you would have had 4 fingers on the screen, both your thumbs to run and aim, and then not iron sight, just aim, rotate the screen, and then another pair of fingers to jump and crouch. But you don't really have to do that, and it's real lenient with how it works. Like really lenient. It's incredibly just fluid. I've never had so far. I've been using it for at least 2 weeks. I haven't had a single problem with. I haven't had a single problem with these. Obviously, my amp shit. That's not the game's fault. Trigger's fault. That's just me. So I guess I'm gonna end it there. Long story short, I highly recommend the Red Magic 6R. I think you'll fucking love it. See, I just vault over that. I mean, it's pretty pay to win, honestly, as well, because I only have to use my thumbs on the screen. That's it. I don't have anything else on my screen. I don't have any other fingers on the actual screen. My other fingers are all on the triggers. So, honestly, any Red Magic phone, I would recommend. Anything 6 or higher. Anything in the 6 category. Anything lower than 6, like the 5, the 3, and all that, I can't recommend those, because their Snapdragons are just too low. So it's the 6 Plus, or 6 Pro, I forgot what to call it. 6 Pro, 6S Pro, and 6R all have 888. Then I highly recommend those ones. But the Red Magic 3 and Red Magic 5, I think they were. I think those are the ones they have. I don't recommend those, because the price is good, but you're better off just paying that extra $90 so you can get the 888 instead of just going with the 855 or the 860 or the 870 when it comes to the Snapdragon. I will say, truthfully, the Snapdragon doesn't make much of a difference, but it's still worth paying such a low amount of money for such a good Snapdragon. Like, you're not gonna find that anywhere, honestly. I guess I can give an example. Let's I'm gonna go hide somewhere real quick, and I'm gonna look to see. Yeah, so the Snapdragon 5S is $539. What's the point, right? Like, the 6R is $450 and it has an A88. It has an A88, and it's just a better phone. It's sleeker, you know. It's I don't know too much about the specs. I'd have to go back and look. So, with further inspection, the 5S is still phone. For example, it does have the cooling. The 6R doesn't have the cooling because, you know, that would cost a lot more money. It wouldn't be as slim of a device as well. The 5S also has better RAM. It has 12 gigabytes of RAM instead of the 8 that the 6R has. But honestly, the 6R comes with an A88, Snapdragon A88. The 5S only comes with a 865. The Snapdragon 865. It's not worth it. You're still better off with the 888, even with the lack of RAM and the lack of cooling and all that. Because if you really want the cooling, you can just buy the fucking the thing extra for like $30. And if you want to buy it off like eBay or something, you can get even cheaper. I've seen it for like $20. Yeah, it's $43.90 on their website. But if you get on like eBay or some shit, I found it for like $20. You can just, like, if you really want the cooling that bad, because you don't like the phone being as warm as it gets, you could just get that. You don't really need to pay the extra like $150 for the better version of the phone. I don't know. I just highly recommend the 6R, 100%. But if you do have more money to spare than like most other people, getting one of the better versions isn't, you know, a bad choice either. I guess that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna end the video there. Pretty much what I'm saying is, if you're looking for a gaming phone with like built-in touch triggers and a good Snapdragon, or the best Snapdragon, or I should say the second best, since they do have an 888 Plus, then get the 6R. It's cheap as fuck. It's definitely worth the price. It's got really good RAM. It's got really good refresh rate on the screen. It's 1080p, so it's got a really good screen with, like, you know, pixel density and shit. Its touch triggers are lit as fuck. Oh, its battery's lit as fuck. Forgot to mention the battery as well. The battery is like on point on this thing. I don't want to get into the specs because the video is very long enough, but the battery's on point. The camera is 64 megapixels, which is fucking insane. And then it's got, let's see. It's got 3 other ones and then one 64 megapixel, which is like crazy. Yeah, definitely worth it. If you're looking for a gaming phone for like not a shitload of money like the Xperia, which is a piece of shit. Don't get the Xperia. Get this instead. Don't get a phone like that. Don't get any of the Asus ROGs. Those things, they're good, but they cost too much. And you don't get as much. You get better specs, but like, it's not so high to where it makes these like shit compared to it. this phone compared to the one of the Asus ROGs is like they're basically the same exact fucking thing, and it's like you're paying $200 extra for the Asus phone. It makes no sense. So stick with, if you're gonna try and get a gaming phone, just get Red Magic 6R. Specifically the 6R version because of how fucking cheap it is. I mean, $450, or if you can find a coupon like I did, $429 for an 888 Snapdragon with touch triggers and 144 hertz. That's fucking insane. You can't get a price better than that. Unless you like get a broken up, busted ass phone from eBay or something, but you can't get a price better than that. That's insane. Alright. I guess whatever, like and subscribe.